Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know who I am, my name is Shook. I make videos for NBA, I make videos for NFL. I post all of these videos on this subreddit. It's called DF Sports. People talk strategy here, people post content here. Very, very good place to be, in my opinion. But I'll show you my post right here. My username is Shook here. I post all of the injury news that comes out, what that changes for me, stuff like that. People post strategy here and stuff like that. And then people ask me questions and I answer all of them for you guys. So, or I do my best to answer all of them. So, if that's something you're interested in, definitely check it out. And if you ever need to get a hold of me, you can get a hold of me through Reddit Messenger, or you can get a hold of me on Twitter at Tory Langley 992. Is De'Aaron Fox? Oh, also, if Discord is something you're interested in, I'll have a link to that below where I have in-depth content, stuff like that. I want to see how I'm doing at best ball. Absolutely destroying the field in best ball. You love to see it. But yeah, in-depth content. I'll have a link to that below. But is De'Aaron Fox serious? Let's take a look at what De'Aaron Fox did to me yesterday. Let's take a look. So this was yesterday. Obviously, you guys know I had a big day yesterday. Let's take a look at what De'Aaron Fox did to my lineup yesterday. Went for 30 fantasy points. You guys want to see what he did tonight? He went for 75 points, 53 assists, 135 rebounds, shot 137% from the field. Let's tilt something else. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. This game was tied with 0.5 seconds left. Kentavious Shitter Pope fouls Malik Monk on an inbound pass with half a second left. Malik Monk hits the free throw. Game over. If you can look at my lineup here, count how many players I have in that game. 1, 2, 3, 4. Nice. All right, so here was my plan for today, and I told everyone on Discord this is what I was doing. I was fading everything. I was gonna wait for the Warriors news, and I was gonna wait for the Denver news. I didn't expect the Warriors to play. Unfortunately, they did get ruled in, so that kind of screwed me. Right outside the cash, but the cash line was like 290. Yeah, like 10 points out of the cash. That Warriors news, I really didn't expect them to play. So that was the strategy that I told everyone that I was doing on Patreon, was that I was going to fade pretty much everything until the late games, until we got that Denver and Golden State news. And unfortunately, the Golden State guys were in, but the Denver guys were out. And once the Denver guys ruled out, I told everyone in Discord, get to Bones Highland. He is now a core play. He absolutely smashed. I told everyone I really liked MPJ. He absolutely smashed. The reason why he went Jokic over Giannis, here's the reason. I wanted enough flexibility for late news. So, and he was going to be way lower owned than Giannis was in a really good matchup. Giannis had a really good matchup too. But I liked both equally. Like, if you ask me straight up, I was going to lean Giannis. But if you factor in ownership and you factor in that swappability for late news, I just leaned Jokic. So I don't think it was a mistake on my part. I think it was the correct play. Unfortunately, Chalk Giannis gets overtime. So that really hurt. If he doesn't get the overtime, I probably cash. But I originally had Lauri Markkanen and Jonathan Kuminga, I believe it was. Or no, it was Lauri Markkanen and, yeah, Kuminga over MPJ and Clarkson, I believe it was. Lauri Markkanen broke the slate. He went for like 60. That was a pivot that just really killed me. But yeah, I thought Ish Smith was going to play a little bit more. Unfortunately, he did not, so he didn't really get there. Anthony Lamb smashed. Jokic was fine. Draymond reached value. MPJ smashed. And then the core that I have for today was Bones Highland, DeJounte Murray, smash, smash. Jokic reached value. And then I had Pat Connaughton at core play, but I told everyone in Discord that I will be fading Pat Connaughton. But if you wanted to play optimally, you put Pat Connaughton in your lineup. Unfortunately, he did not have a good game, but I think a lot of us in the Discord definitely avoided that. So didn't reach the cash today, but hoping to have a good day tomorrow. We got a pretty decent slate here. Some interesting news to keep an eye on. Some plays that I think are in very, very good spots that you'll be able to get off some chalk. Luka, mainly being that chalk. So OKC at Charlotte. Phenomenal matchup here for OKC. Charlotte, they're not as fast this year as they were last year. They're 10th in pace, but they are still terribly defensively. They are 27th in defensive rating. So SGA at the top, I absolutely love. I absolutely loved him going up against the Spurs. I absolutely love him going up against Charlotte. Just a phenomenal spot here. I think if the game stays close, he got pulled this game. He plays, high 30s minutes. A guy that's going to dominate the usage. A guy that's going to do everything for the team. He's matchup proof. I think he looks great. Giddey's minutes got trolled last game, so that's the risk that you face with everyone outside of SGA. So if I knew Giddey was going to play his normal minutes at 6.9K, I think he'd be a solid play. But just always know there is that risk to have his minutes get trolled. Lou Dort was a very, very popular play last game. Got his minutes slashed as well. So once again, GPP only for me. Jalen Williams is the only other guy that I trust his minutes. Him and SGA. Now, 5K, you're not getting him at a discount anymore. I think he's more appropriately priced. Might even be a little bit overpriced. You're not going to get 36 fantasy points again. He's probably going to score around 20 to 30 for you, which at this price tag, that's fine, but not really going to win you a tournament. I played him here. He absolutely smashed. I got a little bit lucky there, but he's just okay. I think he's definitely priced appropriately. For some reason, Kendrick Williams got his minutes slashed with like nobody in. I don't understand that. Now you have Poku out for a while, so maybe that helps him. He would be in play, but we'll have to monitor who they start at the 5 here. Whoever starts at the 5, I'm going to like quite a bit. If Baisley starts at the 5, he's going to be a really, really good value. If they start Mike Muscala at the 5, I'm going to like him for value. But just be careful here. There are ways for them to fail with them trolling the bench rotation. Like they have other guys they can go to. But you would think whoever starts at the 5 would get solid run. So whoever does start at the 5, I do like for value quite a bit. They would be too cheap in a phenomenal matchup up against Charlotte. So keep an eye on that news. Let's move over to the Charlotte side. Really good spot. Oklahoma City Thunder, 3rd in faced, but they're 9th in defensive rating. So I think LaMelo Ball's in play for GPPs. Had a bad game last game, but all you have to do is go back and see 50, 51, 63 fantasy points, has triple-double upside. It's a pace-up spot. Both teams play really fast. These are games that we want to target. So I think LaMelo's a good GPP play. I'd rather go to SGA, though. Kelly Oubre is doubtful, so that's going to mean more run for guys like Terry Rozier, Gordon Hayward, Jalen McDaniels. Those guys, they're going to get more run. Mark Williams will play the backup 5. I think he's an okay punt, but I'd rather go to the starting center on the Thunder. And I think that's it, guys. Like, Maladon, he'll be in the rotation, but I don't really think we need to go there. So, for me personally, I think it's LaMelo that looks like a good GPP play. And I think Terry Rozier is a solid play at 7.3K. Gordon Hayward just has not flashed the ceiling at this price tag for me to go to him. But with no Oubre, he will play big minutes. And then I like the front court quite a bit. I like Plumlee. I like PJ Washington, both in good matchups. I don't have a lean on which I like more point per dollar, but they're both going to play over 30 minutes. It's a phenomenal spot against OKC. So I do like the front court in Plumlee and PJ Washington in this game. So let's move on to Cleveland. It's a good matchup here going up against the Indiana Pacers. The Pacers, 6th in pace, and they are 18th in defensive rating. So Donovan Mitchell in this spot. I mean, the Pacers are so bad, especially if Halliburton's out. There is potential for blowout risk here, but we saw Garland have that blow up game last game. If everyone's going to go to Garland, I'm just going to go to Donovan Mitchell, but I think both are solid plays in good matchups here. Like, Garland should be above 8K, in my opinion. I know his floor has been lower of late, but he has that ceiling to where I think he should be around 8K or a little bit more. Mitchell more of that boomer bust play. They're both kind of boomer bust right now, but it's a great spot going up against the Pacers. I think they're solid. I think Jared Allen's in a pretty good spot too. I have some interest in him. Not a slam dunk, not someone I'm going to go out of my way to play, but I think in this matchup he is definitely worthy of being a solid play. Much rather go to Allen over Mobley, but if you want to go to Mobley for the power forward eligibility, I'm completely okay with it. Karis LeVert, he'll probably play, 25-ish minutes off the bench. He's been god awful. Playable value. Kevin Love, you guys know the drill. If he gets the minutes, he's going to absolutely smash, but most of the time he's not going to get those minutes, so just a GPP dart throw. And then I think that's it. You couldn't pay me to play Lamar Stevens, so I think that's it for Cleveland. Let's move on to the Pacers side. Not much here if Halliburton's in. It's a really tough spot. The Cavs, 29th in pace, 1st in defensive rating, so not much here. I think Halliburton in a tough matchup. No, thank you. Miles Turner in a tough matchup. His minutes have been all over the place. No, thank you. Hield, Mathurin, Nemhard. No, thank you. Neesmith. No, thank you. Duarte. No, thank you. But if Halliburton's out, that's where things change. There's going to be some interest here. I think Nemhard at 4.5K would be a pretty good value play. If TJ McConnell starts, he would be one of the best value plays on the slate. Would absolutely love him. Mathurin would get a boost. I would have some interest there. So, got to keep an eye on this Halliburton news, but I'm pretty positive he is going to play. But if he's out, going to be huge usage bumps to everyone. And then maybe Duarte gets his minutes upticked. I know he's been on a limit, but we'll have to see. But Nemhard, TJ McConnell, really the standouts if Halliburton were to miss. Tough matchup here for the Clippers. Boston's 14th in pace, 7th in defensive rating. So, we do have everyone healthy on the Clippers. So, in a tough matchup, there's just not much really for me that stands out. I think Paul George is fine. I think this price tag would normally be a little bit too cheap for him. But in the matchup, just a okay play. Kawhi Leonard, I do prefer to Paul George for the discount. Minutes went up last game too, which is good to see. So if we're going to get mid-30s minutes from Kawhi Leonard at sub 8K, I think it's doable. I think it's not someone I'm going to go out of my way to play, but if I land on him as a last man in type of thing, I'm completely okay with it. John Wall overpriced with both of them back. Zubac is interesting here. So Robert Williams is back. When Robert Williams is back, it's definitely a much tougher spot, but he's consistently played over 30 minutes the past few games. Now, here's the thing. This game was definitely an outlier, and when Kawhi Leonard is back, his usage rate goes way down. So this was a complete outlier game. This was with Kawhi out. So just pump the brakes a little bit here on Zubac. I have a feeling he's going to pick up ownership tomorrow. I think it's a good play if he's going to continue to get this solid minutes, but I think given the matchup and I think the ownership, if it's going to be over-owned, I think it's something that we can get away from, but disregarding ownership, I think he's solid. Morris has been god awful. I just can't do it. And then the value's just disgusting. I just can't. I really can't. So let's move on to Boston. It's tough spot here. Once again, this game's just disgusting. 21st in pace, 4th in defensive rating. You guys know the drill here. Tatum, Brown, they're always in play. I do prefer Tatum to Brown now that the prices are close. Marcus Smart, super safe play. Not going to play though. Al Horford with Robert Williams back, I think is appropriately priced now. Robert Williams himself, I don't understand what they did on Christmas. I don't understand it. but did play 20 minutes last game. I mean, if we're going to get 20 plus minutes from Robert Williams at 4.3K, I think it's okay. And then I'm not going to anyone else, so that was pretty easy. Let's move on to Memphis. Tough matchup here for Memphis. Toronto, they don't play fast. They're 25th in pace. They play slow. 15th in defensive rating. So just not much here. Desmond Bane's back, so John Morant takes a usage hit. Always has that ceiling though. Like his ceiling's not going to change with Bane back. I think the floor is just a little bit lower. Bane himself got a minutes uptick, but he's probably not going to play over 30 minutes. Hard to go there. Jaren Jackson Jr. with everyone healthy, really hard to go to. Brooks, no thank you. Steven Adams in a tough matchup. I'll pass. And then, yeah, I think that's it for Memphis. Let's move on to Toronto. So another tough spot here. Memphis is 9th in pace, but 5th in defensive rating. Fred VanVleet is questionable. We'll go over both ways one time for the boys. I mean, if Fred VanVleet's in, I still like Siakam. He's just been on a tear of late. He's playing 40 plus minutes a game. A guy that's going to stuff the stat sheet. Definitely has triple-double upside. Don't care that the matchup's bad. I think he looks good. I think Fred at 7.6K is a little bit too cheap, assuming he plays. He would be fine. Scotty, OG, more contrarian plays if he's in. Same with Trent. And then Flynn would probably lose minutes, so I probably wouldn't go to anyone else. But if he's out, there's definitely a lot to like here. Like Siakam's going to look good. I think Scotty Barnes at 6.7K is going to be asked to do a lot more. His peripheral stats would go up. He's already a good rebounder and a very good defender. So I definitely would have interest in Scotty Barnes. If Fred's out, OG would be fine, but I do prefer Scotty to OG. Gary Trent would get a usage bump. He would get a minutes uptick as well. I think he'd be an okay value play. And then I honestly wouldn't hate Malachi Flynn off the bench, whose role without Fred VanVleet has been, consistently over 20 minutes. He would be a fine dart throw, in my opinion. And I'll say, like, Chris Boucher is he's like a Kevin Love. You don't know how much he's going to play, but if he does get those minutes, he'll get you there, but extremely risky. Hernangomez, Bo Cruz has been so freaking bad, except for this game. Like, I think I played him here a while ago against Brooklyn, and then I played him another time. I think it was here against the Knicks, but I got my 1 gig game out of him. I think that's all I'll ever get. So really good matchup here for the Knicks. A lot to like here with the Knicks. Like a lot to like. Spurs 8th in pace, last in defensive rating. So we do have RJ Barrett out. We have Brunson questionable. I mean, what's not to like here in a phenomenal matchup? I mean, if Brunson's in, Randall, Brunson both look great. They're going to run the show here. Quentin Grimes is going to have to play a ton of minutes. I think he'd be fine. Mitchell Robinson in a phenomenal spot. I like him quite a bit. And then we'll have to monitor who they start for RJ Barrett. But I think McBride will play a little bit more. Let me pull up the depth chart. I didn't even know RJ was out. I thought it was just Brunson questionable. I don't even know what they would do. Do they? I don't know what they would do. We'll just have to monitor that. But if Brunson's in, love Randall, love Brunson. Grimes is fine. Really like Mitch. Quickly would be fine. I'd assume his minutes, even if RJ's in, would be pretty secure. Or if RJ's out, would be pretty secure. Would prefer Brunson to be out though, and then we'll have to monitor who they start. But I think McBride will still be in the rotation. But if Brunson's out, that's where things get very interesting. Like Randall is gonna look phenomenal. Grimes would be playable. Mitch looks even better. Quickly would be the best play on the slate. He would look phenomenal. McBride's gonna have to play a ton. He would look amazing. So just monitor that, but a lot to freaking like on the Knicks. Spurs, tough matchup against the Knicks. They play slow. I do believe, where are they? 20th in pace. 10th in defensive rating. We have Keldon and Vassell questionable. We'll go over it both ways. So if they are both in, I think they're all just there for me. I think Trey Jones would be my favorite now that the price has gone down the most, but they're not playing huge minutes right now. So on a, what is it, 7-game slate, 3, 4, 5, 6-game slate, really hard to prioritize any of these guys. Jakob Poeltl's minutes been all over the place. Just a dart for me for GPPs. Sochan now 4.8K. You're kind of getting him at the price where I think if he's going to be extremely popular with those two in, I think it's a good fade. But just super safe play. I think it's solid if they're in. I think it's still fine. And then I wouldn't get to anyone else. But if those two are out, that's where things change. I think Trey Jones looks really, really good at 5.9K. He's going to have to do everything for the team. I think Jeremy Sochan would be really good. And then we'd have to monitor who they start. They could start Keita Bates-Diop. They could start Josh Richardson. They could even start Branham at 3.4K, who I'd have interest in as well. So I'm trying to think. So what would make the most sense here? Trey Jones. I think they like Josh Richardson off the bench. So do they like Trey Jones? Josh Richardson? I don't know. Trey Jones, Branham? I'm not sure. But if those two are out, Trey, gonna look great. Sochan, gonna look good. Whoever starts, gonna look good. And then whoever comes off the bench, like Keita Bates-Diop, Josh Richardson, they could even start Langford. But Branham, those guys, they're gonna have to play more regardless. And I would have interest in all of them. But a lot to like here with the Spurs, potentially, if those two guys are out. Move on to the last game here. Tough matchup. KPJ, Jalen Green, they're just tournament darts for me in this matchup. Minutes have been on an uptick of late, which definitely seems good, but more of just GPP only plays. I like the matchup here for Sengun. Minutes, once again, all over the place, so just a tournament only play for me. Jabari Smith Jr., like here once again, finally had a bad game, but he's a guy that's going to normally stuff the stat sheet, has double-double upside. He'll play mid-30s minutes if the game stays close. Do like Jabari once again as a mid-range play. If Eric Gordon's out, I think KJ Martin is a solid value play. Only if Eric Gordon's out, though. And then I think that is it for Houston. Let's move on to Dallas. Phenomenal matchup here. I mean, if you feel comfortable with the value, Luka looks absolutely amazing. Houston's been terrible against guards, so after scoring 110 fantasy points, Luka's going to be the chalk tomorrow. But yeah, he looks phenomenal. Christian Wood's minutes have been on an uptick of late. I don't hate him in a really good matchup. I think he's solid. Dinwiddie, just there for me. I'm fine with it. He'll play huge minutes if these guys continue to be out. Tim Hardaway Jr. seems appropriately priced for me, but I think mainly for Dallas, it's Luka and Wood that look very good to me. So I think that's it, guys. I hope this video helped you, and I will talk to y'all tomorrow.